Anne from Game Like a Mother, and for my July game chat, I want to talk a bit about gaming preferences because I tried out an assortment of games this month, and one in particular that I thought was just going to be a hit because I'd heard so many positive things about it was a dud for me, and it's because of the types of games that I like. Nothing against the game itself, it's just my preferences. So this is the pile of games I'm going to talk about today, and the one that I want to start with is Bonanza. I was so excited to play. It's longer than 20 minutes. It's closer to a 45-minute game, but I'd heard it's so simple, it's so fun, it has a game designer that I love, and we got it out to play, and a very key aspect of this game is trading. You are trying to collect the most points by creating stacks of beans, and you trade with other players in order to collect beans as part of your turn every time. And I hate trading in board games. It was always my least favorite part of traditional Monopoly and for Settlers of Catan, and I still don't like it. I'm okay with bidding games where you start out with the same level of resources and are taking turns bidding on things that you want, but trading, I don't know. I'm just not very good at it. So this game is not great for me. My son, on the other hand, he's 11, he was all on board. He loved it probably because he talked me into a number of trades that were very advantageous for him and not for me. Next time we go and buy a car, I need to bring him to the dealership to deal with things instead of me. So it's an okay game. Also, just the theme, beans, is not a big selling point for me, but I think some people like that it's kind of quirky and unique. So maybe I'm missing something. If you've played this game and it's like, oh no, it's the best. I didn't play with a large player count. Maybe that makes it better, but trading, no, not my thing. And beans, no. What is the theme that is my thing and what I really do enjoy are little card games. And in prep for my Dragon Top 10 list that's coming out next month, finally, I'm really excited. We've been playing an assortment, and we've recently played Magic Dragons and Reign of Dragoness, and I love little card games. I love little card games so much. I grew up playing card games, and they're cheap. These ones were very easy to pick up the rules. The theme was on point. I really like both. The one that's going to get played the most in our house is absolutely Reign of Dragoness, because in this one, you're trying to be the first to get rid of your hand of cards. And it's just somebody sets a pattern and you're setting out either a single card and everybody has to then play higher than what you've played, or you do sets, multiples of the same card, or runs, and there's some specialty cards, but it was so quick to get up and running, but it was really fun to play, and I really like trying there were simple rules, but I felt like I was making interesting decisions every time, and just dragons all over the place. It was really fun. This one, Magic Dragons, it's a bidding game where you're trying to say how many tricks you're going to take, and there's a little bit more of people messing with you, which works well for adults, but I don't think my kids are going to like as much. Although usually then just my husband and I target each other instead of the child, so they love playing these games because it's hilarious to watch mom and dad get each other while they score all these points. So little card games are just my jam. The dragon game that didn't make my top 10 list is Troll and Dragon, which I was sad that this didn't make the list because I love the board game manufacturer. Low-Key Games makes really solid kid games. And this one, though, has a take that element, which is a really key part of the game. And it's a kid game, and I don't want to do mean things to my kids in games. That's not going to make them want to play with me. I'm totally okay with battle games. Some of those are my favorite games. I love Unmatched, Dice Throne. I even like the Pokemon card game. But for all of those, you kind of know what you signed up for. People are trying to get each other, bash you, get you down to zero. So it's okay. But in this one, you're trying to collect the most gold or diamonds and you're rolling dice to do it. Well, when you're collecting gold, the other person is supposed to be frantically rolling these dice to try to stop you. And if they roll 2 dragons, then they get to steal all of the jewels you just collected. And I don't want to steal from my 8-year-old son who's really excited to play the game. He's a very good sport. He enjoyed the game. But there are other ones that are just happier that I'd rather play with him. On this note, this is my complaint about the Sneaky Snacky Squirrel game. It is super popular. It's a really cute 3-year-old game. And you have this little squirrel pincher that you're using to pick out acorns. And you have the spinner. And one of the things on the spinner is that you steal acorns from the other person, which is fine if it's my child stealing an acorn from me. Oh, hee hee, you got it. If I have to steal an acorn from the 3-year-old, that's very upsetting for them. I don't want to do it. Just pick something else for us to do. I don't care if the spinner makes you put one back or wind comes along and knocks them off. Those are the other bad options on there. But don't make me be the bad one. So I really don't take that elements in kid games. Fine in adult games, other games, but don't do it in kid games. What we do like in kid games are cooperative games. Just work so well for us. This is not new. My first Castle Panic we've had for ages. We play it all the time. My older kids love playing it with my 4-year-old. I love playing it with my 4-year-old. We win and lose together. And then the older version is Castle Panic, which we've also been playing. Basically, you have a bunch of monsters storming the castle and you're working together to try to stop them. In my first Castle Panic, it's very simple. You're just playing, each person plays 1 card per round and a monster gets added each round, and there still is ample room for panic. You lose a fair bit of time. This is the newer version of Castle Panic, which we got. We already had the original, and I thought, oh, let's see if there's anything new. There isn't. There isn't anything new. It's the same, but they've improved the graphics of the box, essentially, and everything else is the same in it. But we were testing it out because I thought, oh, let's see. The kids were so happy to play it. Even my somewhat reluctant gamer, my older daughter, who's 10, she loves this game. It's always fun. We win and lose together. And it's very exciting, though, still. It's not just like a warm, fuzzy, whatever, let's all hold hands gaming experience that people seem to think is the problem with cooperative games. No. There's monsters storming the castle. You're discussing about what you should do. And this is one that you'd play to death. We've had it for years, and we play it all the time. And then the other thing that I really like in board games is simple rules for simple games. I specialize in shorter games that play in 20 minutes, and there's nothing like getting a short game and having to read through some rule book that takes longer than actually playing the game. To me, that's the mark of not as good of a game, generally, because if it's in this situation, you do this, except for this, asterisk this, then you haven't made this smooth, beautiful game that is easy to get out and everybody is eager to, people are eager to play, it's easy to teach. And so we went on a trip recently, and the game that was new that we ended up playing was Art Robbery, because the publisher, Helvetique, kind of specializes in some of these small box games, and they generally do just a beautiful job. And in this one, you are thieves splitting up the loot from an art robbery, from a heist, and you're playing out cards. You have a bunch of tiles out that represent all of the loot that you've collected, and you play out a card, and you're like, okay, it's 3, so I get to collect a 3 out there, but the other person can play a card that will steal the loot you just collected. So it's kind of a tug of war over the loot, and you just see who has the most at the end of the game after a certain number of rounds. So this was really quick to learn. It was fun. I'd say, though, because of gaming preferences, I'm really trying to be aware of this when I play with other people. My kids aren't probably going to love this that they're stealing from them. So if they're prepared for it, maybe they do okay, but they probably aren't going to be super happy if I keep on stealing loot from them and it's part of the game. I know a lot of my primary gaming partners don't like this kind of gameplay. That said, my husband and I have no problem just stealing back and forth, and it's so fun. We like the take that elements when we're playing against each other. If it's like a quick, easy little game like this, then it's great. So we had a blast playing this together. That said, definitely better at more than 2 players because there's a lot of luck if you just get the bigger number cards, which is definitely why my husband beat me and not because of anything else. But we really enjoyed it. And so I would just say, figure out kind of what you like, and then it's nice to expand to some other kind of themes or types of gameplay. But if you have an idea of what you like, then you can be really successful with gaming. I'd also say we use Board Game Geek a lot for references for, okay, is this game, what's it rated? What's the ideal player count? It's a really helpful resource, but rather like movie ratings, the more pretentious big games seem to get higher ratings, like your highbrow art films will get higher ratings, and then the comedies that come out that are like Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, that everybody goes and sees will get lower ratings, even though that's what the people enjoy more. So when it comes to board games, I find it one of the most ridiculous things to be pretentious about. When playing, I mean, it's a game. You're doing this to have quality time with friends and loved ones. So if, oh, I don't play anything that's rated below this and I only like that, you know, just, it should be fun. It should be fun. I wouldn't let the ratings turn you off if it's a smaller box game that you're really going to enjoy. A lot of the Helvetique games kind of have moderate ratings, and I keep on being sort of swayed by that, and then we play them and I'm like, oh, this is delightful. Oh, this is so fun. So it's nice to have an idea of what's out there. If there's something that's like, look at the ratings, but just know it's what your personal preferences are, and that's what really matters. So that's it for me. It's been a very fun month of gaming. I hope you are all having a lovely summer of quality time and have some good games to play with folks that you love. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time from Game Like a Mother.